We're now 1 week away from the Batman. 1 week from today, you will be sitting in theaters and watching Robert Pattinson as the Batman. That is at least if you actually see it opening day. You don't have to, but it'll be an option. So yeah, this film is fast approaching, and so of course in this past week we had the official world premiere red carpet event for the Batman. I believe it was in London, so that's all fancy and stuff. And so of course during red carpet premieres, you have the interviews with the cast and director and all that stuff. And so during an interview with Matt Reeves, who of course is the director of the Batman, he confirmed that the Batman 2 is happening, or at least there's been discussions of it. He mentioned that there has already been conversations about a sequel. Since they're working on this first movie, they were already thinking about that. He's mentioned some ideas he's had. I made videos about it in the past about a possible grounded version of Mr. Freeze, possibly a Clayface. So we kind of already knew that a sequel was happening, especially given the fact that, pretty much since this first movie was announced, it was kind of announced as all right, we're doing a trilogy. And also especially considering that we're getting all these spin-offs with Gotham PD and the Penguin series, and now the rumored Catwoman series as well on HBO Max. So it just makes sense that they want to continue this franchise for as long as possible, especially since you have a younger Batman, and that's one of the main reasons that studios will now cast younger actors as heroes like this, and why we have a younger Batman is because of longevity. It's not like you want to cast, bring back Michael Keaton as Batman, give him another Batman trilogy. That guy's 70 years old. He doesn't have as much longevity. But Robert Pattinson, he's in his 30s. You got time with this guy. So it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. And, there's been a lot of praise for this movie. Since that world premiere, we've had a couple different reactions coming out of this film. And it's been pretty much nothing but good stuff. And a lot of people are saying that, Robert Pattinson is going to be your new favorite Batman. There's been rumors that there's going to be some big reveal cliffhanger at the end of this movie. So of course they're going to continue the story. Of course we're going to get a continuation of the Batman universe. And I'm excited for it. That's why we've talked about it so much on the channel, specifically where it can go in the future, what other villains we can have, possibly an appearance of Robin, bring in Dick Grayson. That probably won't happen until at least the third movie though. But there's a lot of possibilities when it comes to the Batman, especially given that this is a more grounded universe, and seeing the more realistic and sadistic and just unique take on the Riddler and even the Penguin and Catwoman in this movie. It gets me really excited to see what other darker Batman villains we could finally see get adaptations on the screen. Again, we've already talked about Mr. Freeze a bit, possibly a little Clayface in there. The Joker is obviously a big one that has been rumored to possibly be having an appearance in this movie, or at least being set up here, so that's always something. We could get some Court of Owls, maybe a character like Hush. I remember back when we were first hearing about this movie, that Hush was a big one that people wanted in this movie, especially given the design for Riddler. A lot of people thought at first that actually was Hush, but we could get a nice adaptation of Scarecrow, maybe a Professor Pig. I think Professor Pig is an awesome villain that could be done really well. Two-Face, of course, would work really nicely. And some of these villains, it is harder to do in this more grounded universe, but, you can bend the rules a little bit here and there, and I feel like it could work really well for some of these characters, especially now with this more grounded universe, though, certain characters like the Court of Owls. I'm not sure if I already mentioned them, but the Court of Owls would work really, really well in this universe, especially given how in this first movie Riddler is all about corruption, and literally that corruption is due to the Court of Owls. And another one that is kind of out of nowhere that you probably wouldn't expect is the Ventriloquist. Now, I'm not saying I want the Ventriloquist to be the main villain of a future Batman movie, but just to have an appearance of that character in a movie, especially in this more grounded, darker universe, that character could be really scary, not gonna lie. He really could be. So this is awesome. I'm really excited for this. I'm really excited for the Batman, and I'm really excited to see the future of this franchise, not only in these sequel movies, but also the spin-off series on HBO Max. But anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about the news that the Batman 2 is happening, and what do you want to see in the sequel? What kind of villains do you want to see? What kind of storylines? Let me know in the comments below. And thanks so much for watching. Please drop a like if you enjoyed this video, and hit the subscribe button so I can keep it up to date on everything that goes on in the DC life.